live. Welcome back to Heslop Tech Talk. We are live with the brothers Heslop, or the Talk Brothers Tech, or Teching Talk Brothers.
Talking tech.
Brothers Talk, the Tech Talk. You know, we just got the words that are just flowing out of the mouth today. But today we're talking about some fun tech. How's everybody doing today? Doing superb. Not feeling the best, but you know, we're powering through it. Josh, how are you doing this morning? What afternoon, I should say. How are you doing?
Man, had a good workout this morning. Did some rowing and some elliptical.
Nice.
Knocking it out. So me and the wife joined the gym. So we can fitness anytime.
The real question is, did you jazzercise?
No. But there's a guy in there who wears the affliction shirts and totally pumps the iron and makes me look like I'm wasting my life. But I feel way better and I'm happier than he is. So that's all that matters. But yeah, so
you can move your neck still.
yes, I haven't broken it. And I'm not taking creatine or whatever the kids do. But yeah, I'm man, not just taking care of the kiddos and rocking and rolling, getting ready to come out with some new videos here probably tonight and tomorrow. So keep it locked. Joshua 14 on the YouTubes.
Yeah. Jeremy, how you doing this afternoon?
Doing awesome.
In the Maryland.
Excited to talking tech in the Maryland world of Maryland. Tech in the talk, talking the tech with my bros.
Nice. What do you do in your non-tech talk time?
Non-tech talk time is involved mostly with eating Chipotle today. So that was part of that. But
Yeah.
I'm an OmniTech Pro, and we help businesses get their technology under control and help them grow and build their business.
Awesome. Well, good stuff happening out in both of the worlds of the brothers, but we're moving right into some tech talk, and we're starting out here with something that I'm pretty pumped about. You guys may know that I enjoy the Pokemons. I enjoy those Pokemons, and so much so, they've had some really cool updates recently. Hey, Guy, welcome. We have some legendary Pokemons that have been added in the mix. This is right from Pokemon Go's website. This Saturday, they're having a big, huge event called PokeGo, the festival. It's a big fest. And they're going to have this big park set up with Wi-Fi and lounges and battery stations. And they're going to release legendary raids. So the raids were added into the system a couple weeks ago and added a lot of really cool features to Pokemon Go, which I've been loving. To be out with friends, you show up and there's 12 people that just appear out of nowhere and want to catch a certain Pokemon. But now there's going to be legendary Pokemon. You can see Lugia there. There's Zapdos, Ho-Oh, and more that are appearing throughout this. Articuno, Pikachu getting smacked around by Lugia, which is funny. So Mewtwo making a little appearance there too. But I'm pretty pumped about this. They're not releasing a ton of details. You can go to PokemonGoLive.com /legendary Pokemon, and there's all kinds of information about it. But on basically Saturday, the people in Chicago at the actual PokeGo Fest are going to have a first attack at these legendary Pokemon. Then after that, they haven't had a lot of details as to what's going to happen next after that. I don't know if it's that day later on that other people get a chance to get it, or the next day, or soon thereafter. They haven't been totally clear, but we do know that there will be legendary eggs appearing at gyms this Saturday, at least in Chicago. And then furthermore, we don't know. But I'm pretty excited about that. We had some fun the other day. Jeremy and I got to go grab some raid, got a Tyranitar. And people of West Virginia were out in droves trying to catch Tyranitar. There was actually two that appeared about 5 minutes away from each other, and like about 15 or 20 showed up at the first one. A couple, people were catching the Tyranitar, and then a bunch more people. We had almost 40 people show up to the second one. It's like 38. We had to have 3 groups attacking that Tyranitar. It was crazy, but it was good stuff. What do you guys think about legendary Pokemon? Josh, you don't really ever play Pokemon, but I'm excited.
Well, I like to keep the monsters in my pocket. That's all I got to say about that.
Pocket monsters. Nice. Jeremy, any thoughts on these legendary Pokemons?
Yeah, look pretty cool. It'll be interesting to see how they roll them out, if it's just through the raids or other ways. But anything they can do to keep the Pokemon Go world alive is going to be good for them. So, that's the next logical step.
Yeah, they've been teasing this forever. Actually, in the original trailer for Pokemon Go, they had raid battles in it. And so it took them a whole year to get raid battles actually into the game. So obviously, they're slow rolling some of these things. Their servers were destroyed that first month. And every time they add a new huge feature, the game kind of gets crippled for a couple days until they really work things out. So we'll see. I think that Saturday is going to be a mess with all the people trying to play with the Pokemon Go Fest. But I'm excited to see it. There's going to be all kinds of goodness happening. I'm looking forward to seeing what is happening. But speaking of that, moving on, I'm excited for the Pokemons. But moving on, what kind of world do we have that Ryzen is taking over? Is this what I'm hearing, Josh?
Yes. So we have some AMD Ryzen Trace News 3. So this is from PCWorld.com. AMD's Ryzen 3 lineup brings competitive quad-core CPUs to the masses. So and I wonder why they named it 3, because is it directly competing with the Core i3? What? Well, the Core i3 is only a dual-core part with 4 threads on the high end, and these are going to be 4 cores and 4 threads. So basically, they are, let me see down here, they should have the more details. Okay, so they have the 1200 and 1300X, both rock 4 cores and 4 threads. But they don't have the simultaneous multi-threading that has that's on Ryzen 5 and Ryzen 7 that basically makes them turbo boost or whatever. So they don't have any turbo boosting capability. Well, actually they do, but it's only like 3.1 to 3.4 on the 1200 and 3.5 and 3.7 on the 1300X. So they are going to be so they basically pitted them against the i3 already. And they say it's outpitched the i3 in every task except the hotly contested Sysmark 2014. So, but they do have 65 watt TDPs and 2 megabytes of L2 and 8 megabytes of L3 caches. So it's going to be very interesting to see how much it costs. So they're saying the 1300X retails for $117. So, but they don't show how much the 1200 is going to cost. So probably sub 100. So, so quad core for sub 100, that will be pretty sweet. But
some rockin' budget builds coming out soon.
No doubt, no doubt. I'm curious to see the gaming performance with like a 1080 or a 1070. See how that rocks with just the quad core. Yeah, because I mean they've shown that the single core performance on the i3s you can game just as fine. So so yeah, that'll be interesting.
That is interesting. Yeah, that's what I think is these budget builds are getting less and less, especially now with AMD hopefully pushing down some of the Intel chipsets down a little in price, and then now we just need some cheaper GPUs that aren't getting hiked up in prices. like 1050i and stuff like that, they're still decent prices. Is that right, or are they pretty jacked up too?
Well, the Ethereum, I should have mentioned that Ethereum is crashing right now. So a lot of the GPUs are being sold right now on eBay. So you're probably going to be able to find some good deals out there.
Exactly.
That's so funny. How quickly do those things change? 2 weeks ago it was all the rage and CPU was crazy price, and now it's just they're freaking out. Dang. That just it's
Could have told you that.
yeah, right. You gotta, I guess, diversify and don't put all your money into every new technology thing, because wowzers, that'd be intense if you bought like multiple new cards and you went all out to really put money into this, and then it just crash all 2 weeks later.
Yeah, like buying a bunch of phones just to play Pokemon Go, and then like 2 weeks later, nobody's playing it anymore.
Well, speaking of things that I probably should invest in, what is Elon Musk and his craziness doing right now? What's he investing in, Jeremy?
Yeah, so Jeremy. Yeah, so being the, I guess, resident Elon Shriner, have his shrine over here. He recently just tweeted, and I'll go ahead and show this real quick, that he has gotten verbal government approval from for the Boring Company to build an underground Hyperloop from New York to Philly, Philly to Baltimore, Baltimore to DC, and so going from one end of the loop to the other in 29 minutes. So that's pretty amazing. For those that aren't in the know, the Boring Company was something that Elon Musk made as an evening. He was bored on Twitter, and so he just started talking and chatting people, and was like, this is the most dumbest idea in the whole entire world. And people are like, it's amazing. He's like, wait, I just did the math. It is amazing. It can happen. And so he started a company called the Boring Company, and it's all about underground. So
boring underground.
Exactly.
So many.
So they actually had some. They actually have a tunnel right next to the Tesla factories in I think out west there, and I actually had a test go from one side of the tunnel to the other, going only about half the speed, about 70 miles an hour. I think the top speed's supposed to be over 100, maybe 170 was talked about, something in there. Crazy. So they are sleds, so for cars. So a car would potentially in New York park in a Boring Company parking spot, and then you would initiate the sequence to go to DC, and it would suck you down and into an elevator that would put you into a essentially a glorified train sled, if you were. I think they're based on Hyperloop technology, and then you would just be whisked away to wherever destination you wanted to go. And yeah, all the underground. There'd be multiple lines apparently, so different lines would be going off like almost like a big interstate highway underground. But the software would manage how everything is getting from point A to point B, so you don't have to worry about traffic. You just go. So that's pretty cool stuff coming there. It's still verbal, so it'll be nice to see what actually happens when they get the actual talking points through to the actual government approval, get the pen to paper, as it were. And then Baltimore's pretty close to where I'm at, and DC is as well. So that'd be cool to, if I needed to go up to New York or something, and I was already, or even just flying over to Philly. It takes 30 minutes to fly to Philly for $100, and then take Hyperloop the rest of the way. But it is in car, so you have to get your car there. That's the only downfall. But
it's crazy because
cool.
You could go to Smithsonian, and then in DC, and then you can say, watch one TV show, and then you can be in New York doing a marketing pitch.
There you go, watching Broadway here. Yeah.
And
yeah.
But cool, yeah. The amount of things that he has his hands in is just incredible. Whether it be rocket ships or solar energy or Boring Company or his electric cars.
Just a couple things going on.
just a little thing. So that's pretty crazy. Well, I'm excited to see kind of where that goes, because that's obviously something that would be a big, huge game changer for our travel. Because just keeping it the way it is right now isn't always the best. But moving right along here, speaking of things that might not be the best, could be the best. We got an older company that used to be the best back in early 2000s that was kind of dead for a while and then bought out and brought back. That's Nokia. So Nokia had some leaks where they accidentally leaked on their own website. So Nokia had website leaks, and as you can see, Galaxy S8 has some great advertising. They're like, you don't care about the Nokia. Look at this. They're everywhere.
S8.
They are everywhere. But speaking of, the Nokia wants this to be a iPhone killer, but we'll see what that is. It's looking pretty simple here with the front bezels are pretty solid size, but I always love the Zeiss lenses here. Got some dual lens action on the back there with fully spec'd out list with the 835 2K display, 6 gigs of RAM. So the specs are there, and the design looks pretty solid, except for the the front bezels. You look over here at this S8 and you think, so. But Nokia is known for their craftsmanship and how well their devices are in the hand and how durable they are. So I'm not counting them out yet. I'm thinking they're going to have a great camera there. Their 950 and 10 series of camera phones were just bonkers good. So I've got a feeling that these are going to be a standard setting camera phones, but will the actual Android side of it and the phone side of it live up to Nokia's standards or the standards for Android right now? I don't know. What are you guys' thoughts on this Nokia leak and then make it a comeback? This is the Nokia 8, and they do have a Nokia 9 that's supposed to be coming out with that. So I don't know if that's just a size difference or there's a big difference with that, but there's supposed to be a launch later in July, the end of the month, the 31st. Thoughts?
The Verge already came out with a video about, they have one of the Nokia ones that's mid-level. And so I'm not sure. Yeah, so basically it's just like a Snapdragon 600 series, I think. And so just basic stuff. But it's not actually Nokia. Some parent company bought all the patents and is using the Nokia name. So, but they've obviously, I think, got some people that were bought out from the Microsoft buyout. Because, I mean, they're still using a lot of the design cues and stuff like that. So
yeah, it says HMD, whoever HMD is. HMD Global.
Yeah, yeah. So huge maker of dank memes. I mean, I don't know.
Cellular devices.
Yeah. But, more power to them. If they can shake up the market a little bit and come out with some decent phones. And, I don't know if a flagship is the best way to go around. Are people going to want a Nokia flagship?
Yeah, we'll see. It said the company is currently selling a bunch of affordable Nexus-like devices that run vanilla Android. So if this is going to be a vanilla Android, pretty premium device, and they can keep it on the lower end price, hey, that could be really solid. It can be another option like a OnePlus 5, but maybe a little potentially better and something different. So who knows? Guy said he had the Nokia 3310 and 5110. Jerry Rigs Everything Zach just did a durability test on the new 3310, and it did really, really well. Surprise, surprise. It's not indestructible like the old one was, but still pretty cool in my opinion that's around. But any other thoughts on the new Nokia and whether or not it'll do something here?
It all depends on how they can differentiate themselves. I mean, if they're putting in Zeus, lenses like they were with the Windows phones and making them high pixel and really good cameras, then maybe they can do a little bit something different. But We'll see. I mean, the name still has a little bit of clout with some of us people who, like Guy saying, used them back in the day. So would we try a Nokia over a Samsung or LG or a Pixel or something like that? Flagship, probably not. If I was looking for mid-range or budget for wife or kids or something, maybe. But so it'll be interesting to see if they can get into the higher game.
Yeah. Zeus. Oh my gosh.
Zeiss.
All right. Well,
I like Zeus.
That's funny. Well, Josh, thinking about ripping it up, what kind of thread ripping do we have happening with AMD?
Threadripper finally is getting announced as well. So they announced Ryzen 3 with the cheap processors, and they said we are going to knock Intel's butt with Threadripper. They announced two different processors, the 1950X and the 1920X. So this is off of PCPer.com. And thanks to Ryan Shrout, I think it's the 1950X is $999 and the 1920X is $799. So there's a video with Dr. Lisa Su and John Taylor. So they basically put it up, give you all the specs with all the Core i9 and i7s from the Skylake X processors. And the 1950X has 16 cores and 32 threads for $999, and that puts it against the 10-core, 20-thread 7900X. So it does not have Turbo Boost Max 3.0, but it still does Turbo Boost 2.0 at 4 gigahertz, which is not bad. And it does do quad channel RAM as well, 180 watts. So it has more TDP than even the 7980X. But very interesting. The 1920X is a 12-core, 24-thread. So, and that for $799 is in the middle of the 7820 and 7900 because the 7820 is only 8-core and 16 thread. So it will be very interesting to see how this thing shakes out. And they go further down the line of the next line down for the 1800X is $500. So you're jumping $300 to get 4 more cores, or $500 to get 8 more cores.
So many threads you can use it as a blanket.
Oh my gosh, yes, the thread count is just insane. But but yeah, so hopefully, I mean, they've already done for the 1920X, which is the cheaper one. Yes, the cheaper one. They've already done a test for, looks like Cinebench multi-thread. The 1920X beats the 7900X 2431 to 2186, and the Threadripper 1950X gets 3046 on multi-thread. So yeah, for multi-threading, these guys are beast. So even better, way better than the 1800X. So
awesome.
But yeah, so looks like some good options for y'all multitaskers. And yeah, so that shows the Ryzen 3 as well, but not the pricing yet. So
we got a differential on the budget builds and then the holy crap, do anything you want builds.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. So I mean, even the 1400 is 4 cores and 8 threads for 170. So it's pretty wild.
Not crazy. Yeah. Oh, cool. Well, AMD, I mean, they're being a force to be reckoned with. They're not just sitting down idly now. They are pushing it all out with both budget and thread ripping madness on both ends of the AMD spectrum. So I'm excited. I'm glad that we have some more differential in the market again, and we can actually push it out. Jeremy, you have any thoughts on that?
I want to thread rip it up. I'm just glad they didn't do 3, 5, and 7, or just call these the Threadripper 9s or something like that. You know, let
Right.
them go in their little hole and do their weird naming schemes. You know, do something different.
Exactly. Yeah, definitely. Well, speaking a little bit different, Jeremy, what is Google doing these days that seems pretty interesting?
Yeah, so this came up on my radar a little while ago, and I didn't get to talk about it until today. But Google has been working on all kinds of stuff with AI and object recognition and stuff like that. But typically, that requires the internet. You know, tells you take a picture of something, it comes back and says, "Hey, here's what's going on." Well, they now can do object detection that does not need internet access. So, say you needed to, you know, have certain face detection or landmarks or objects, those types of things. They are working on releasing their mobile net, which is an open source software, to programmers to incorporate in their apps so that you can program things to go on your mobile device or small computers to recognize certain things. So you can classify certain pictures or different uses of things without having to send the whole picture to Google and send it back. So that's pretty cool for technologies moving forward, like deep learning and things like that, that require something that's faster than with an internet connection. So, you know, maybe you want to look through all your photos and find the people that are in your photos, or, you know, look at all your dog pictures without having to send every single photo that you've taken that day up to the internet just to look for those particular generic things. So
Yeah,
I thought that was pretty cool. I mean, there's, you know, and the fact that they open sourced it, I thought was nice, because that allowed way more people to be able to get in there and make it better as well.
that's perfect. Yeah, I think this is kind of the next iteration here, because I mean, obviously the world's going to get more and more connected with the internet everywhere, but if we're so dependent on the internet and we don't have a sourcing of a way to be able to deal with data and deal with things like that, this is a great way to kind of fill some of those gaps, still have resources to still have things that it can do outside of just that. So that's cool.
Yep.
Just in case it was somebody had hijacked it.
Josh, any thought on those offline technologies from Google?
I'm all about shallow learning, so
No
not
deep
really
learning
my
for
thing.
you.
Not really my thing.
That's awesome. Well, lastly here, I just have one quick little thing that kind of was fun that I hope they release a version in the United States. Kind of fingers crossed here. I don't know if it's going to be a possibility, but just recently they released a version of the V20 in Italy, and of all places, and they called it the Q8. So this is in Japan. They released it and called it the V34. But what it is a mini LG V20. Naming schemes aside, or the Q8, it's a Qualcomm 821, which the original V20 is a 820, so they bumped it up a little bit. It's a 5.2-inch screen instead of the 5.7-inch, which I think is great, because this is a different option for people. Still the same camera, still the same megapixels on both cameras, but it's going to be a little lighter. It's going to be a little faster, and maybe a little bit better in battery life, since it is a smaller screen with not much a smaller battery. So this is IP67. So some people had complaints about the V20 not being waterproof, and this was actually upgraded to IP68. So it's even better waterproof than the V34 was in Japan. Still has the quad DAC and everything. So this might be really cool for people that wanted a smaller screen V20, and then also some waterproofing, so water resistance. So there's a little bit difference I noticed on the camera glass, which is different than the V20. So I don't know if they made it a little bit more durable, which is would be very well noted, but I can't confirm any of that. That's all just a little bit of deduction there, dear Watson. about just seeing a little bit difference there on the camera glass, that it's embedded a little bit differently. But I don't know, that's kind of fun. I just wanted to make you guys aware of that. This is from Pocketnow. A little bit different. Maybe it'll be something that we see they bring over the United States, or maybe some people out in Europe will import them around and get a version of that. But I thought that was kind of fun, a little bit something different that some of you all might like to check out maybe in the future. But Josh,
does it have a quad DAC?
It does.
It does.
What's the battery size in comparison?
3,000.
Not replaceable.
Oh yeah, so that's the huge thing. It's a non-removable battery. So a lot of you all just be like, boom, I don't want that. That's weak sauce.
Well, that's the kind of the trade-off, right? Waterproofing or.
Yep.
Yeah.
I personally love having a removable battery. I've been switching them out. Those long Pokemon Go sessions, where I'm trying to catch all the legendaries. Switching the battery real quick, change it out. If I had the the VQ8/34/7 small phone thing that just released, I wouldn't be able to do that. I'd be out of luck. But if I dropped in a puddle, I'd be good.
You're good to go. Well, you just carry your anchor around with you.
Yeah, the anchor, power bank. That's true. The next device that I'll do, Poltech, I don't know. I have a list of a bunch of devices that I'm looking at. I'm definitely looking at the V30. I'm waiting to see what they're going to do for that. That should be end August is what we're looking at. I'll try to get as much as I can of information out for you all about the V30. It's great. The V20 is such a great device that I think if they just round out a few things for the V30, it can be even better. But it's looking like a non-removable battery on the V30, still dual camera. It's looking more like a big LG G6 than a V30, but we'll have to wait and see for that. I'm excited either way. It's new tech, and LG has been doing really well as of late, so I hope they keep churning out some greatness. Josh, Jeremy, got anything exciting or fun that you want to add in the end here? Something that you got to look forward to here?
I might be doing some streaming later, maybe some H1Z1, or I might pick up the PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds because I got some Amazon monies burning a hole.
That's awesome. Yeah, speaking of streaming, I had some people hit me up on Twitter saying, Joe, I haven't seen some Overwatch streaming. I've been playing some, but I haven't been feeling great, and I have low energy. So sometimes I get home and I'm like, I just want to do something not on camera. So that's kind of where I've been. But hoping to get some streaming up for Overwatch. It's been fun. I've been playing some comp matches and wrecking some people. The usual. But it's been fun.
Doomfist.
Yeah, I'm excited about Doomfist coming out later this month. I'll definitely stream some when he's out. He's in the public release
beta
server, but not in the main server yet. Jeremy, anything fun you got happening over that way?
Yeah, just rocking and rolling. We'll be having some videos up to help your businesses out. So if you want to check those out, go to OmniTech Pro user on channel on YouTube's, as well as the Twitters and Facebooks and the .coms.
.com.
OmniTechPro.com.
Jeremy,
YouTube.com/user/OmniTechPro.
Josh and I are going to create a jingle for your business. It'll be great. It'll get all
Let's get all the peeps.
We won the Salisbury Award for tech companies. OmniTech Pro.
Exactly. That's going to make millions right there, as I can tell. But thank you all so much for watching the Tech Talks. Glad you guys get to check in and talk with us each week, bringing you quality tech content. The Talk and the Tech with the brothers of the Heslops. Thank you all so much for watching. We hope that you have a wonderful afternoon. You know what? You should keep it classy, and we will check y'all